With Kyrie Irving being able to play home games for the Nets for the rest of the regular season and the upcoming playoffs, just how impactful do you think it's going to be for the Nets overall?
Hey, man, it's gonna be huge. But before you go away, I need you to read me the last four games of Kyrie Irving's last play.
All right,
What were his total points?
his last 4 games. First one being was against the Hornets, dropped 50 points. Game after that, he played the 76ers, scored 22. Not bad, but not compared to the 50 they dropped against the Hornets. After that, plays against the Magic on the road, drops 60. And then the last game that they played against the Grizzlies, granted it was in a loss, he scored 43 points. So 3 out of the last 4 games, he scored over 40 or more points, which has just been outright phenomenal. But I'll let you have it from here.
Dude, we're talking a guy that's basically played less than half the year, a guy that's on a tear as of late, a man that has the basketball basically at his whim with a damn string, and is the perfect running mate to go blow for blow with Kevin Durant. It's not even a question. The Brooklyn Nets are back. The Brooklyn Nets are healthy. Once they get Seth Curry back into this rotation, Ben Simmons aside, even if he doesn't play the rest of the year, dude, that 1-2 punch of two guys that can score 30 at will, with the addition of Andre Drummond down low, who's getting those rebounds, who's providing that defensive presence, sharpshooter in the corner with Seth Curry, who's been shooting at an incredible clip before he had recently gone down with a brief injury. Now you put Kyrie Irving that can play at home, who's been legitimately pumping at the bits to play in front of the Barclays Center fans, dude, this is not even a joke. Bro, sound the alarm. The Eastern Conference needs to be aware. And I know what you're thinking. They just lost to the Grizzlies last night, Kev. What are you talking about? Kyle just made this point to me a couple of minutes ago. What conference do the Grizzlies play in? If they did see the Grizzlies, it wouldn't be until the fucking finals. You think Kyrie Irving and KD aren't about to go blow for blow in the Eastern Conference playoffs? You think if they get the 8 seed, they're not going to give whoever it is the 1 seed ends up being a run for their money? And right now, if I'm not mistaken, that's Miami, right? Or am I crazy?
No, you're right.
Yeah, because there isn't trouble in South Beach right now where Jimmy Butler and Udonis Haslam had to get separated the other day. Granted, that's just a temporary headline, but you don't really think that Kyrie and KD healthy can run at Bam and Jimmy? Bro, you're out of your mind. You don't know basketball if you don't think that that's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. If Brooklyn gets healthy at the right time, Kyrie gets into that groove and stays consistent. I'm not saying the score over 40 a night, but if he can give you 25 to 30 a night with KD's 30 a night, good luck stopping. Good luck stopping them. Kyrie's basically got the equivalent of fresh legs because he's taking every other game off. He hasn't even played a total of 30 games. It's ridiculous the amount of freedom that this man now has, that Brooklyn is going to just look at the league and say, "We're coming for you." Bro, Kyrie Irving is back, and everybody needs to be on notice. They better watch out.
Yeah, when it comes to the Nets and just the ability to have Kyrie back on the floor for them, I think it's going to be tremendous. Just because they've really kind of been an up and down team with Kyrie not being able to play home games. But with that changing and him being able to play those home games since New York's kind of changing their COVID restrictions when it comes to, I guess, basketball players, athletes, and performers, I think their title run is wide open going into this season. Now, that doesn't mean that they're just going to cakewalk straight to the finals in the Eastern Conference. They still have to compete against solid teams like the Miami Heat, who are the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. The Bucks are surging at this current moment in time. They're only 1 game behind the Heat for first place. And then you got the 76ers that are trailing right behind them. And they're only 1.5 games back of first place as well. And the thing is, all those teams can have a good shot to beat the Nets. It's just that when you look at the Nets and you have just really the best handler that I've ever seen in Kyrie Irving to go along with Kevin Durant, that's going to be a tough duo to stop moving forward. And I will say, granted, they did lose to the Grizzlies the other day, and the Grizzlies didn't have John Morant in that lineup. The one thing that really struck me about Kevin Durant and Kyrie is that when they're on, it doesn't matter what defense they're going up against. they're going to knock down shots on a consistent basis. And the thing is, a lot of these teams have been lucky this year because they don't really get to play against Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant just because Kevin Durant's been hurt in stretches this season. Kyrie hasn't been able to play home games. So the amount of time that Kyrie and Kevin Durant have shared the floor together, it's been limited. But now with them being together for the foreseeable future, going into the last stretch of the regular season and going into the playoffs, I think the Nets are going to hit a stride and they're going to be set up great for the playoffs. Now, I don't think they're going to crack like a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference just because we're getting too late into the season for that to happen. But, when you look at what their seeding is going to be, I could see them being like a 5 or 6 seed when it's all said and done before going into the playoffs. And that's a dangerous seed to go up against just because just the offensive output that those guys can bring on a nightly basis. I mean, the Nets can go out there and score 130, 140 points as long as they're knocking down their shots. So, the biggest thing with the Nets at this current point in time, just stay healthy. If they could be able to do that and Kyrie and Kevin go out there and drop 60, 70 points between the two of them, that's going to bode extremely well for the Nets moving forward to go along with some great role players like Andre Drummond, who's actually been playing pretty solid of late. Not only with just getting rebounds, but actually scoring at a nice clip as well. You'll have Seth Curry coming back into the fold once he recovers from his injury. We'll see what happens if they insert Blake Griffin back into the lineup. Maybe we could look at some other players. It's too bad that Joe Harris is out for the rest of the regular season. I think they will miss his presence when it comes to the playoffs. But all in all, I think the Nets are in a great position at this current moment in time. And with Kyrie being able to play home games, I think it puts them in a prime position, not only to be one of the best teams going into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, they have a very real chance to get back to the finals this year. That's just how I see it.